Maybe it was a start of sorts. The Gazette recently convened a roundtable of local education professionals and activists to watch Waiting for Superman, a searing indictment of the public school system in urban America today. The schools and situations that the panelists experience are different than those in the film, but themes in the movie nonetheless resonated with them. For instance, the role that race, class, and poverty can play in valley schools.
Poverty in class is, sort of intersecting here with education, and we're trying to figure out what's the connection and how can we undo the effects of poverty and class discrimination insofar as it affects educational success. And I'm wondering whether it's possible to fix the education system without addressing those underlying issues. Can you somehow compensate for the disadvantages that kids come with if they are from minority race or minority economic status, and they don't have those advantages.
Another theme that struck home with panelists was testing, a hot button in a state where the word MCAS can get teachers, administrators, or parents going upon merely hearing it.
Alternatives to testing, since the MCAS was supposed to be part of a system rather than the sole criteria, and Race to the Top is only reinforcing this more. And
the system or a system of testing?
Well,
or
MCAS was supposed to be about multiple assessments, right, and we've ended up with only one. And the push with Race to the Top is all about that moment in time.
They were actually talking about other ways of measuring.
Well, so was this state when MCAS first came along.
But hey, it's nice to hear it again.
Got dropped along the wayside.
The move to charter schools, a dominant plot point in the film, was also a topic of discussion. Lead school principal Joseph Smith noted that even with the presence of charter schools, not much has changed about schooling in general.
Look, the problem is that we're dealing with a way of doing business that is outdated, it's antiquated. It's the only profession that's not updated. We talk about school reform, but nothing's been reformed. The only thing that has happened is that we have charter schools coming along. Public schools are still in decay, they're still broken, we're still doing business as usual, but we're now in the mix. We have charter schools, and some of them are succeeding and some of them are not. And in that process, we're making a determination, hopefully I can hit that lottery and get into a charter school, but nothing happens to the public school.
Panelists did note that whatever their merits, charter schools have served as a spur to public schools.
One of those kids costs.
That's the point of charter schools.
We won't lose them, we'll keep them.
To say, let's all do the things that are working well. So if students are leaving Northampton because they're trying to find performing arts opportunities somewhere else, and then Northampton has more performing arts opportunities because that's an effective way to have students be engaged in school and learn about the arts and be creative. Fantastic. That's the point.
Yeah. I'm really interested in selling our middle school. I think our middle school does a fantastic job in so many ways. We don't have any promotional materials at all. I think something should go home with tax bills to the folks in Northampton. Every time they get a tax bill, they should get a newsletter. What is happening in the public schools? Where, how are your tax dollars being well spent, on children in Northampton? Really sell ourselves. This is what the faculty looks like at the middle school. These are our backgrounds. This is what the research we've done, the places we've traveled, all these things, And charter schools are making me think that way, because you used to just take for granted your public school, for better or worse, and in Amherst, was for better growing up there.
I think the only problem
The panel took on much more in its 2.5-hour chat, including teacher effectiveness and the gulf between urban and suburban schools. You can read much more in GazetteNet's free package of stories about the panel's frank discussions at the schools page. For GazetteNet, this is Don St. John.